Bilawal Bhutto, the man who speaks Urdu like a tourist ordering samosas with the swagger of the impudent Knightsbridge colonialist and delivers foreign policy takes with the subtlety of a teenage TikToker high on Red Bull. Welcome to Drishtikone Show, where we go beyond the noise, pierce through the propaganda, and expose the phenomena and actions that others are too afraid to touch or approach. This is not just about politics, you see. It's about rediscovering the truth. Today, we want to look at a vituperative, spoiled, swindling scion of a penniless nation named Bilawal Bhutto, the guy who represents a lineage of suicidal but plundering dynasts controlled by a group of war criminals called the Pakistani army, only to be killed when they are needed no more. Fresh off the PPP's endless summer of irrelevance, Mr. Bhutto has now decided to audition for a Netflix comedy special titled Desperate and Deranged, the Pakistani edition. And his latest zinger, calling the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi a Temu version of Netanyahu. Coming from a man who himself is a Shein version of that Canadian buffoon named Justin Trudeau, that does count for something, doesn't it? A silly pastel smile, zero policy spine, and chronically allergic to accountability. At least Trudeau has gained some success in being a walking and dancing liberal woke meme. Bilawal has not even earned that. Both Modi and Netanyahu are leaders who are elected, decisive, and widely respected by their base. And Bilawal? Well, he can't even win Karachi. He inherited a party like a second-hand suit and has never earned a wrinkle in it. As for Bhuttos, this is the same family that enabled the rise of Taliban under Benazir. They looted the state through money laundering so vast, even Swiss bankers were blushing, and dismantled the Pakistani institutions so thoroughly it would make a termite proud. Every Bhutto rises on the corpses of those who believed in them. Every Bhutto falls by the hands of those they served. You know, it's like a Shakespearean comic tragedy. That is, if Shakespeare wrote in broken Urdu and looked moronic. Bilawal loves to talk about how India oppresses its Muslims. But let's talk about how Pakistan treats its own. The Ahmadis were at the forefront of the Pakistani movement. The very constitution of Pakistan was written by Muhammad Zafarullah Khan, an Ahmadi. And how did Pakistan repay this? By declaring Ahmadis as non-Muslims, under the same constitution that an Ahmadi had written. That's like Shakespeare being banned from the English department because he used too many vowels. But don't expect Bilawal or Shehri Rahman to protest this. They only attend conferences where intersectionality ends at Riyadh. Bilawal never tires of crying crocodile tears for Kashmir. But one must ask, which Kashmir is he referring to? The one where Pakistan sponsors jihadist militias like Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed? Or the one where Benazir Bhutto herself in a blood-curdling 1990 speech chanted, "We will take 1,000-year war for Kashmir"? The same Benazir who at ISI's behest helped fuel the massacre and ethnic cleansing of Hindus in the valley, enabling an exodus of nearly 500,000 Kashmiri Pandits. Bilawal sermonizes about the oppression of Muslims in India with all the performative rage of a man who has never opened a Baloch history book. Since 1948, Pakistan has conducted multiple military operations in Balochistan, killing over 200,000 Baloch Muslims, disappearing thousands more. The late 1960s crackdown alone saw aerial bombardments of villages, a warm-up for the horrors of East Pakistan. Even today, Baloches, the women, leaders, and students are abducted, tortured, and dumped like broken furniture. The Shia, Hazara, and Sindhi lives are devoured by this very state his family, Bilawal's family, helped build into a military feeding tube. But no speeches on that, no tears. because Baloch Muslims don't vote in Sindh and they don't fund the Pakistani army's cocaine habits. Rose to the highest office of this country due to his hard work and respect for rule of law. This is how Benazir Bhutto spoke in March 2002 about the former Chief of Army Staff in Pakistan, General Tikka Khan. He was then a Lieutenant General. Tikka Khan was a commander of Eastern Command in 1971. He was a planner and architect of the genocide perpetrated under Operation Searchlight. But before that, in 1960s, when General Ayub Khan decided to impose Urdu on all the provinces, Baloches had stood up against the actions of the Pakistani army. The Baloch leader, Sardar Ataullah Mengal, was jailed. General Ayub Khan declared martial law and pronounced Balochistan as a disturbed area. The general then sent Major General Tikka Khan to stop the protests and Baloch resistance. Tikka Khan unleashed genocide on the Baloches and was known as a butcher of Balochistan. Before India was accused of genocide by Bhutto's PR pamphlet, the Pakistani army led by Yahya Khan and Tikka Khan, who was the butcher of Balochistan and Bengal, slaughtered 3 million Muslim Bengalis in 9 months. Operation Searchlight was not a military strategy, you see. It was a theater of genocide with rape camps where Pakistani army criminals would rape 300,000 women, over 300,000 women, brutally and mercilessly until they conceived and it was ascertained that they could no longer terminate their pregnancies. The Pakistani army had massacred Bengalis with impunity and had death quotas for every district and village. This was the evil that was perpetrated by Tikka Khan. And what was Pakistan's and Bilawal Bhutto's family's great democratic response to this? The man whom Benazir Bhutto had eulogized for having the respect for rule of law, this devil named Tikka Khan retired from Pakistani army in 1974. In 1976, he joined Bhutto's Pakistan People's Party. He was the Secretary General of the party, and Benazir Bhutto made him the governor of Punjab in her first administration. After Zulfikar Bhutto's genocidal silence during the Bangladesh massacre, he strutted into history by threatening to break the legs of any Pakistani who was attending the Bengali parliament. And what did that get him? A rope, delivered by his own general, Zia-ul-haq. He was hanged like an expired meat, with exactly the kind of disdain Benazir would later receive in Rawalpindi. Perpetrators and backers of genocides and terrorism. This is a legacy that Bhuttos have crafted over their lives. Lives that have been ended by the very establishment for whom they carried the water. Far from being a victim of terror, Benazir Bhutto was killed by the very forces that she and her country's army had worked very hard to create and empower. So let's not forget, she was so beloved by the ISI and the jihadis that they blew her up like a used condom with a hole, with all the reverence that it entails. The hole, however, may have helped the birth of a sorry jester in any case. It's poetic symmetry, you see, and if Bilawal keeps straying from ISI's approved script, he may just get his own necktie party very soon. Because in Pakistan, martyrdom is not a risk. It's a family tradition. Let's be blunt. Pakistan is not a homeland for Muslims. It is a military real estate scam built exclusively for Sunni Punjabi elites. Those who treat Balochis as insurgents, Sindhis as peasants, Pashtuns as collateral, Bengalis as traitors, and Ahmadis, Hindus, and Shias as heretics. Bilawal Bhutto is not a leader of Muslims, you see. He's a court jester in the ISI's harem, preening, tweeting, occasionally sobbing about Palestine while serving a state that had killed 25,000 Palestinians in Jordan during Black September of 1970. Yes, let's not forget that. General zia-ul-haq, the darling of the Pakistani army, helped King Hussein of Jordan massacre thousands of Palestinian refugees within a matter of a couple of days in 1970. Apparently, some Muslim lives matter less, especially when there is a Saudi check involved with it. Pakistan, in its current form, is not a state. It's a termite-ridden nation with designer parasites leading it. You see, it's like a Facebook marketplace of failed ideologies, where feudalism is sold as democracy and jihad is peddled as foreign policy. It's an expired colonial coupon redeemed daily by parasites like Bhuttos and Sherry Rehman. They use the poor as cannon fodder in jihad. They loot public money through ghost schools, fake NGOs, and sugar scams, and parade at Davos and COP summits talking about equity while children die of thirst in the villages. They are Marxists in tweets, monarchs in action, and wholly dependent on Gulf bailouts and Chinese loans to fund their democracy cosplay. Bilawal Bhutto is not a statesman. He's a plastic peacock in the ISI zoo. This Shein Trudeau of Pakistan shamelessly struts around in shiny suits made from the loot of millions of poor Pakistanis. He is the epitome of doublespeak and perpetually embarrassed by his own people. He yells fascism at democratically elected leaders, but serves a deep state comprising war criminals that eats its own. He tweets about Kashmir while his own army bombs Baloch villages. He smiles for photo ops while Ahmadis are gunned down in the mosques built by their own ancestors. Pakistan is not a nation. It's a military-sponsored fever dream where politicians like Bilawal Bhutto dance in borrowed costumes and read scripts from Rawalpindi, hoping the audience won't notice the blood on the stage. But the world does notice. And the applause, that's not respect. It's just the sound of history laughing. Bilawal Bhutto speaks of dignity and justice, but his family has not given dignity to a single Pakistani province, nor justice to a single victim of the countless state atrocities they have sponsored, ignored, or even enabled. Narendra Modi does not need defending. His actions speak loud and clear. But Bilawal's words, there are peacocks cry in a poultry shed. But ultimately, Bilawal is not Pakistan's hope. He is its symptom. A posh, pale criminal who lives off of the skin of the poor, the state and he have fooled into religious frenzy, while the elites sip their single malt, enjoying the helpless girls disrobed, swinging in mujras amidst their evil laughter. How do you awaken those who have found comfort in their own slaughter, who wear their chains like ornaments and sing hymns at the altar of their own executioners? How indeed? This is Drishtikone, where we look deeper, where we tell the stories others won't. If you like this story, then please subscribe, like, and share. Tell us in the comments, what do you think about this jester called Bilawal Bhutto? And until next time, Jai Hind.